Mike's on.
Yep.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Phee Smee Network's Phee SPORTSBALL with Sir Isaac the Guru. Good to have you back, Isaac.
We're back.
Back in the saddle again. I tell you what, Isaac went to a dadgum conference last week. Had a great time, learned a lot, fantastic communication but most importantly, played on a golf course that was unbelievable. Tell them about it.
It was crazy. First of all, even though it wasn't my money, it gave me a dang heart attack because the round cost about, I think it was like close to $400. So on my way there, I was going to be a stickler because I kept telling myself, like, I'm going to be the biggest critic. If this is this much money, like, it better be sweet. Well, it was. First of all, the second you get there, it's like the second you move to do anything, one of the employees was like running up to do it for you. So, like, you start grabbing your clubs, they're coming and grabbing them, putting them on the cart. You got to reach for a drink, they're bringing you more water. They bring you like cold, because it was like 80 something that day in Dallas. They bring you cold, wet towels the whole round. They're bringing you drinks the whole time, bringing you food. It was just like, that part was crazy. The clubhouse was super nice. But then the golf course was probably the hardest golf course I've ever played. First of all, because of the course itself, but then also it was blowing like 30-mile-an-hour wind the whole time. So
harsh conditions for Sir Isaac in Texas.
Tough. But the greens were like putting on glass, super nice. The very first green I putted it off the green, I think, so I got to learn that quick. But no, it was a blast. It was super fun, definitely worth it. And yeah, I mean, I've never played anything like that in my life. I got to play a couple nice courses, and that was, the course quality was up there with the ones I've played, but it was just the whole experience and everything with the service and like the quality of the facility. It was super
awesome,
nice.
huh?
It was.
He got treated like royalty, folks. You know, when you make folks money, they tend to treat you right at those conferences and conventions, don't they?
True.
So, it costs a lot of money for corporations to have those events, but what they do is they build morale, and especially with a growing company like you got. But bottom line, the viewers really want to know one thing: how did you shoot?
We did a two-man scramble, which, funny thing is, my group was the only group that did a two-man scramble. Every other group was doing four-man. So we kept hearing about some of the scores, and I felt like we were scrapping together a pretty good round. We were even through like the first 8 holes, and I was like, with how hard it is, I was like, no one's going to be shooting low. Well, then we start hollering at other groups, and they're like, oh, we're 4 under, we're 5 under, and I was like, no. No. I told my partner, I was like, I'm not trying to be that guy. I was like, but there is no way on earth that these people are 4 under.
Can they keep score?
And then we found out after the fact. We ended up, I think we shot 3 or 4, and the winner shot 5. So we almost won as a two-man. But then we found out after the whole round we were the only people playing two-man, and they were all like, oh, yeah, we're 4-man scrambling. I was like, no wonder you're – like, I was sitting here like, y'all are cheating.
So you were playing very well and still losing. You finally figured out why.
I was getting discouraged. I was like, what? Like, are we just not as good as I think we are? Like, I feel like we're playing great, and then we're out here getting whooped by these other people. But, yeah, that was why. They were playing a different format than us.
Yes, that's a lack of communication that I blame Sir Isaac the Guru on. If he was the only group that wasn't playing, it seems like that there was some miscommunication with one group, and you were in it.
Yeah, it was bad luck. I do think that we were told wrong, but you can't argue that when everyone else had the right info.
That would be what I would say, too. Makes it very difficult for that argument to hold water.
Yeah, that one, I wouldn't look great in court. Wouldn't look good.
So, Sir Isaac, you didn't get the handicap last week as far as collecting tickets. You were outside the state of Arkansas. No bets were made by ye. So tell me, how would you have done? Because I know you'd have lost on BYU because I had Texas Tech all day.
I don't think I would have.
Night.
I don't think I would have played them.
He's a BYU freak.
I honestly don't know. I don't. Oh, I would have lost on Mizzou because I definitely was going to be all over them and A&M. Probably would have lost on Oregon.
I did. And I did lose on Mizzou.
I may have hit one betting against the frauds of the ACC with Virginia and Louisville, but it's hard to say because I didn't even dive into them and look real hard. It was because I knew I wasn't betting. I didn't pay that much attention, so I'd be lying if I made anything up. I was able to bet a couple of the NFL games when I came back on Sunday, and
Take some L's.
I don't even remember what I did.
Well,
That was a
ladies and
long
gentlemen,
weekend.
boys and girls, I can just tell you this week he'll be in the state of Arkansas, and he will be playing. He has done a lot of research this week. He did beat Phee last week in fantasy football straight up, as Phee is struggling with injuries.
Excuses.
Again, Phee is struggling with injuries. You know, the best ability is availability. And I just thought you would want to know, Isaac, that I do give you the tip of the hat
Nice.
with my fantasy football. Also, last week was our introduction of Phee versus the females, and Queen Bee just did a phenomenal job on Saturday, going 4-1. She picked Penn State, and so did I. But she's the one that picked the Aggies. And so I was trailing her after day one Saturday, 4-1 to 3-2. Then she came back Sunday and only went 2-3. Phee again, very consistent, steady, 3-2. So we tie for the first week of Phee versus the females, with the Queen Bee and Phee tying at 6-4. Both the type of weeks that's just a waste, because after you pay the juice, it's even.
You came out a little ahead.
Yeah, you got to have 57. I had 60. What else you want from Phee? But again, ladies and gentlemen, tune in tonight to Night with Phee right here at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. We will be joined later on tonight with Mr. President from the Northeast, also Sir William Smee, the real deal, and our guest prognosticator of the females tonight, J. Dan Smee, will be right with Phee at 8:45.
She's going to make me a lot of money.
And I guarantee you, Sir Isaac the Guru has already said that he is going to take her picks and turn it into a game cash-winning parlay.
Yeah, because I just know for a fact that I can do all this research. I know how the world works. I can do all this research, have my opinions by watching football, and I'll rattle off some random games and just have her tell me off the top of her head what sounds better, and she'll go 5-0. That'll be what happens. So I'm going to prepare for it and profit off of it.
An absolute genius, as sweet as can be, is absolutely just, my son just sparkles when she walks in the room. It is absolutely wonderful to see them married, happy, successful, enjoying life, both highly educated. But she, I have to tell you, if he's the head, she's the neck. Because she be moving that head, she be rocking and rolling, and we can't wait to have them. Well, let's get into this week's college football slate. You were whining on for a couple of weeks about the good games. Well, we've got some dandies this week for Sir Isaac the Guru. So, Sir Isaac, where would you want to start with the dadgum games in college this week?
I feel like it's super top heavy this week. Like there's some really, really good games, and it's a pretty steep drop off.
Always complaining, folks.
That's not true.
Always
not
complaining.
true at all. But that's not even a complaint. That's for how my Saturdays have been going. It works out great for me because I can pay super close attention to less games and not feel like I got to pay attention to 10 games.
Smart.
So, but I feel like we got to get this one out of the way because I'm wearing the jersey and I love them, even though they break my heart. But Arkansas and LSU play this week. There was a time where that was an exciting rivalry between college football trying to take that away from us and us underperforming. It's kind of become way less of one, but still fun to watch them play. I was kind of surprised at the line a little bit, but I think I heard that, unless I'm mistaken, you may have noticed better than me. I thought I heard that the line started out bigger and then a bunch of early money came in on us, and then now it's been going hard the other way. But
Well, you know he's wearing the jersey Arkansas. That is Darren McFadden's number. Darren McFadden has an uncle that lives in Fort Smith that now has what is the best high school basketball player in the state of Arkansas as a 8th grader. She is phenomenal. She played on Team USA this year. I had her when she was younger before I got sick. She is great. But Darren McFadden has got some family and some nieces and cousins that are going to be playing some basketball. So, yes, LSU, from the Miracle of Markham to all of the great games that we've had with them throughout the years, used to be on a Friday afternoon. When they took Texas away from us, they wanted to make LSU our rivalries. LSU already has rivalries with Ole Miss, especially, and Alabama. So they never thought of us like the boot, but we thought of them that way.
mm-hmm.
Then they switched it because A&M's TV market is bigger than Arkansas State, so they changed the A&M to LSU game on Friday and gave us Missouri, and we hadn't beat them. Which everybody, when that rivalry started, everybody thought Arkansas would own that series.
Yeah,
but
and most years, even with the way the series has gone, most years we felt like we were going to win that game.
If you're Arkansas and you don't beat the M's, that's Missouri, Mississippi, and Mississippi State, you normally have a bad year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't beat your non-conference, you have a bad year. But as a national broadcast, I can tell you that Arkansas LSU, when you see the line at 5.5, less than a touchdown, has it moved up since then, or is it moved down?
I think it's 5.5 right now.
5.5 is way I got it earlier today looking, and at LSU, it is not a night game.
No.
See, so it is LSU's interim coach that have those players, let loose the rope, because Arkansas's players, they don't have a defense and they can't stop anybody, but they are in every game.
Yeah, what was the one game? Was it Auburn that we looked at the end like we were done with? But for the most part, yeah, we look like we're playing hard. We just literally, like you said, we can't stop.
Can't stop them. We have turnovers at crucial times, and that tends to create things. I tell you, Oregon last week in playing in Iowa in a down torrential rain, just wrong times. The quarterback takes a snap and drops back 4 yards and trips over his own feet on 3rd down, and there you go. That's the kind of stuff. You're on the 1 yard line and you have a legal procedure. Move back to the 6. There you go. So those type of things happen, and Arkansas can't seem to get in that W column. And everybody says Petrino's going to get that job if they beat Texas. I don't think so. I would hope that Arkansas is looking at a summer off from Tulane. He continues to do well there. I know you have some other picks also that you would like for him to be, but if I'm going to play LSU versus Arkansas at LSU, -5.5, interim coach, give me the Hogs plus the 5.5.
It should be a shootout, that's for sure. Also, the latest rumors, which mean literally nothing, by the way, because the latest rumors are also that Nick Saban's going to LSU. We all know how much that's going to happen. But the latest rumor is...
So they're waiting on Miss Sue.
Yeah. She's house shopping.
We talked about that last week on the show, as I really believe that there's nothing like having that command over a winning culture in a locker room. No matter what you're paid, he misses that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
His wife has put up with it now since they were married. And he was supposed to be done with it, and he's got a great gig on television.
I think that he is too smart to go back. Not that I think he couldn't get it done, but he left because this new wave of college football is he doesn't like it.
NIL.
Yeah, and I think
Adapt
I
or
don't
die,
think he can be.
Debo.
Do what?
I said adapt or die, Debo.
And he chose die. But I think Saban probably knows that the powerhouse thing isn't going to be as effective now. And so,
That's the challenge.
but I just don't. I think he finished his career how everyone wants to finish their career. He finished it at
As
the
the
top,
best ever.
and that's. I mean, if it was me, I do get the fact of, like you're saying, like he's there because he loves the game and like the thirst for the competition. But if it was me, I mean,
When do you say goodbye for good?
yeah, you go back. Now you're running the risk of not probably tarnishing your legacy, but you run the risk of all these headlines. You have one bad year. The media doesn't talk about anything else other than your year. It's just like, is it worth it? And I would probably say no, but I'm not him. So
No.
he does have a great gig right now, though.
He does, and Miss Sue and him, I'm sure, are having a great time. But Bill Belichick was known as the greatest NFL coach of all time, and he had the itch. And look what's happened to him. And so now, I think Coach Saban should probably learn from that. But each person is set. That is a man that is type A when he needs to be, a great salesman when he needs to be, but he's very, very prepared. And he thinks he's the exception because he always has been.
Mm-hmm.
And so I admire that. But at the same time, when do you say goodbye for good?
Yeah.
Because at one point you have to look at his wife and say, "Man, you've had a great life, but you ain't spent a whole lot of time with him."
Yeah.
The boy's spending 14, 16 hours a day.
Yeah, you don't get to be that good of a coach without spending all day, every day.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If it ain't coaching, it's recruiting, and if you ain't recruiting, you're developing the guys you got. And he's not one of those people that I think takes a back seat and lets the assistants do all the
He's a
work.
defensive back coach, and he still teaches fundamentals. He still teaches footwork. He still watches game film. Shoot, he's watching game film now, and that's what's, when he's looking for these shows that he's doing, and all that's doing is just taking a little step in, just getting a little step in. And most of the time, when it gets a little step in, you start liking it.
Yeah.
And you miss it, and you've got to change patterns at that point. And I bet you he's changed a whole lot of patterns, and he likes it the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just tough for successful people to walk away. Ask Joe Namath. He looked awful sick over there for the Los Angeles Rams, sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
It was ugly for what he did in New York to end that way, and a lot of them end that way. Aren't you happy when people leave a year early? Or,
Absolutely.
When Bo Jackson left, he left because of a degenerative hip, or he'd been known as the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about Bo Jackson. Bottom line is, Deion Sanders was a great athlete, two-way athlete. But he got out. Larry Bird hurt his back. He didn't get out in time. But
then you got the people who get out too early, and then your legend is like a mystery almost, like your Barry Sanders and your Calvin Johnson. Because they did
Andrew Luck.
the polar opposite of that, which is that retired really early. Now you got all these people going like, were they the greatest player ever that didn't keep playing? Like that whole deal. So
you don't get mentioned as the greatest ever if you don't play but 4 years.
Yeah, you can.
You see, but again, people don't remember Marcus Dupree. But I'm telling you what, Marcus Dupree was an unbelievable athlete, and a freshman at Oklahoma looked like a reincarnation of the best athletes ever. You just put them together: Earl Campbell, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, and look what happened to his career. And again, Len Bias died after a draft night from a great career in Maryland, and nobody ever talks about him anymore because he never made it to the NBA, although he was drafted by the Celtics, died the next night. So, the best ability is availability, again, as we say. But Coach Saban, he's going to be available or he's not going to be available, and he gets to make that choice.
And then everyone now thinks Summerall's going to Auburn, which is the most recent. And then people will swear up and down that we got boosters saying we're going to get Franklin. But
do you want him? The dominoes are fixing to fall.
Franklin, if we're doing like little tier rankings of all the people I've talked about, he's definitely above all of your older guys. He's also probably, even if Rhett Lashley was still available, he'd be above him. People are gonna think I'm insane for this. I think I'd rather take a shot on a Summerall first, but if we hire Franklin, I can't imagine that I'm gonna have a lot to complain. Like he's not a guy that I'm like I don't want him. The biggest red flag about him is that he's built programs and then hasn't got like the whole thing done yet. But I'm also a believer that you keep putting yourself in that position and it'll happen. And
so does Coach Van Horn at Arkansas. They've been knocking at the door. They've been ringing the bell.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is it is what it is. So I don't know when it comes to James Franklin. If you can win at Vanderbilt, you can win anywhere. Does he have the same fire he did when he was younger? I think his players like him. I don't know what a fit he would be. I have a hesitation about him, okay?
Me too.
And I don't have any right to, other than what you say is, big game. He doesn't win the big games. But James Franklin, that's a big name. So was Brett Bielema. I would rather go after a young, energetic, type A, get it done. Give me Nick Saban when he was 30. Find that dude. And I think Summerall fits that. The Memphis coaches, they're talking about. But Lane Kiffin's going to get a choice of where he goes once Nick Saban. He was number one. Now Nick Saban's number one. And if Nick Saban says, I'm not going to coach, Lane Kiffin will have his choice again. But when you've got Florida and LSU in the South and Penn State, Arkansas is not the top 3 or 4 coaching jobs in America. And Auburn would be ahead of it. People in Arkansas don't like that. But Auburn's got they used to have allegedly a very corrupt athletic department, and they were paying long before NIL. But bottom line is Auburn, they're a big brand in the state of Alabama. And
I still just have I have nothing to back it up. People could tear me apart for saying it, but I still just have it's just my gut tells me that there's more potential in the Arkansas program than there is at Auburn. But history tells me I'm wrong. Everyone else tells me I'm wrong. So I can't really
his
say
heart
it.
tells you he's right, and the possibilities, the upside is he's exactly right. But you don't get it done.
No, and my hope would be if we sign Franklin, which crazy but if we do, I hope we don't do it to a crazy contract. And my hope would be, hey, he comes in maybe in year 3, maybe we get 2 or 3, 4 years of winning 7, 8, 9, 10 games where we're up there, and then maybe at that point you become attractive enough to where now you have a chance at another good name. Or he shocks the world and comes here and wins, and who knows. But I wouldn't be as excited about him as others, but I would definitely not be, oh, gosh, I can't believe we did that, like that reaction.
No. And neither were they about Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
But what do you like Arkansas plus the 5.5? Are you going to play the Bengals and LSU? Or do you care?
I care, but I'm not playing it.
Well, just pick a side then. That ain't one of your picks. What do you think?
Arkansas plus 5.5 because I can't pick against this.
There you go. I like it. If you're not playing it, I like your loyalty. All right. Well, you just saw the college football playoff championship. First or second time they've put the top 12 teams out. Ohio State still number 1. Had their worst game of the year. Still won by 24.
They played like everyone was like they didn't play good, and they just keep killing people.
What do you think? Are they a dominant number 1 in football?
Yeah.
You do believe? See, I'm not with you. I do not believe there's a dominant team in college football this year.
I think they're the only one, and I think that it's mainly because their defense. Their offense does not have to be elite because their defense is unbelievable. And in turn, their offense gets to be good because they've got enough talent and playmakers that they make it happen. But I think you stack up all the offenses in college football, I think they're just in there with everyone else. But it doesn't matter because you've got a young quarterback that doesn't have to experience the pressure or hasn't had to yet, which just makes him play free. Because you can go to the sideline knowing your defense is going to get a stop. I mean, it's not a if they just, and they're just killing people. And you would think, I don't care how talented the schools they're playing against, it's Purdue, whatever. You'd think one of these schools would be watching this film. You know they're looking at their defense and the players and examining everything, and they all come in with a game plan. And at the end of the day, they can't. No one can do anything. Literally no one can do anything. And until I see anything different, I just can't imagine anyone beating them right now, which makes me want to throw up, by the way, saying that. I cannot stand Ohio State.
I've told you I like Ohio State. I like the shoe. Bottom line is they're not going back to back. Fee's told you an SEC team will win it. But to your point, when you have a defense like that, it changes your offensive game plan.
Oh, yeah.
It allows you to take more risk. It allows you to play on a much loosey-goosey type of environment when you have that kind of confidence in your defense. What they're going to run into is they're going to run into a team that can score 24, and then they're going to have a couple of turnovers. And when that happens, they'll get beat because you know they say defense wins championships, and I agree with that. But in this day and age of moving the football with these offensive weapons, I can tell you now, 24 is not enough on any given day.
Nope.
It's not enough. Now, Ohio State has another best wide receiver.
That's the thing. That's the thing that makes – so there's two things. First of all, I agree. And the advantage that everyone else in the country has or these other big teams is that no one's got to see that yet. So there's a chance if you come out and punch them in the mouth early, you don't know how they react. They haven't dealt with it. So there's a chance that Bama or
Georgia.
Bama, I was going to say A&M, and I decided not to because I don't like them. Because Marcel Reed will throw 4 interceptions against that defense, and but anyways, there's a chance that one of these teams comes out and punches them in the mouth, and you all of a sudden see them look human. But then you add in the layer of they've got these 2 wide receivers. One of them is one of the better wide receiver talents that we've had in a while, and the other one is just a run-of-the-mill first-round draft pick that no one freaking talks about. But anyways, they have had no pressure either. So then you start to wonder, well, in a game where they've got to sling the ball, they may just air it out to these 2 dudes, and they just may go make catches and score 40-something points.
And that quarterback, the more reps he gets, the better he's going to get.
Yeah.
I believe that Ohio State is the best team in college football today. I do not think that their offense will be there in the tournament enough to win once they come up against a fast SEC defense and a team that can score a lot of points.
I hope you're right. I really do, because I don't want to watch them win.
Well, Queen Bee, her first appearance last week on Phee SPORTSBALL. Sir Isaac was off playing golf on some crazy island in Texas. So bottom line is Queen Bee came in here and she said, I'll take Penn State plus the 15.5. Penn State almost got Indiana if it wasn't for a phenomenal play at the end of the game. Crazy. What is your thoughts on that, Guru?
First of all, crazy catch. It literally looked like his feet were floating above the ground and he just happened to get a toe down. Crazy catch. But it probably wouldn't have mattered if they would have lost for them because I would assume they're going to just be in the playoff anyway. But definitely woke them up because they probably thought that they were, fired head coach, Penn State was underperforming, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go beat them by 30 and then move on with our life. And
didn't happen.
They honestly, they probably should have lost, to be honest.
Shoulda, coulda, and woulda, folks. When they put it in the record book, it's a W. I totally agree with his thoughts on the situation, but now they're thinking one of two things. They're thinking we're a team of destiny. If we can win this one, that was our chance to lose. We're not going to lose again. There's your winning culture. The other culture is, well, we're weebling and wobbling. Are we fixing to fall down?
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that goes. I do like their coach. I do like their quarterback. But, yes, Penn State and Queen Bee, I told you right here on the Phee Smee Network last week that, Indiana almost got beat if it wasn't for an amazing catch, as the guru says. And I know that you were big on we keep talking about the Aggies every week. I keep thinking the Aggies are going to choke. I think now it's against Texas, by the way. But bottom line is they went into Mizzou and made Mizzou look bad. It was 17-0 at one point. So
I'm so annoyed that they are still undefeated because I just can't. I don't watch it. I just can't see it when I watch them. And that's not even me. They're not even a team that I put in my top groups of, I can't stand them. They're really not. I mean, I'm not a fan, but there's a list of teams out there that I'll find any excuse to pick them to lose. Houston. But no, they're not on that list. But I just don't. There's a lot of these other teams I watch, and I could see it. Like, I can be like, all right, like they can do it. I mean, shoot, I've watched Tennessee and felt better watching them than when I watch A&M play. I don't know what it is. They just, they keep winning.
It's orange and white checkered end zones.
They keep winning games, so, I look like an idiot, but I just don't, I don't see it when I watch them, and that they don't have a quarterback. The kid can run. Now they're talking about him winning the Heisman. If he wins the friggin' Heisman Trophy,
he's not going to win the Heisman Trophy.
He better not, because I've seen that he may be, unless I'm forgetting one, which I may be.
The Alabama quarterback's going to win a Heisman Trophy if Alabama wins out, and Alabama's playing as good as anybody, and you called it 2 weeks before they did it.
Well, I struggle watching them because I just don't see them. I can't see it happening, but you know what? Until they lose, I guess I need to shut up because they keep winning, and I tried to prey on their downfall last week and would have picked them to lose. It's a good thing I couldn't bet because I definitely would have been.
You'd have bet on Missouri.
I would have been taking Mizzou money line.
Yeah. But you sent it to me.
But
you sent me your picks. But yeah, A&M keeps winning. Queen Bee had that one, and Phee did not. I had Mizzou at home. Plus, what I thought was enough. I thought maybe a field goal game, but it wasn't close. Wasn't close. The athletes didn't look like. A&M looks like all that money that they paid when Jimbo Fisher was there for all those athletes have grown up from freshmen to juniors and seniors, hadn't they?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of boys on those offensive and defensive lines that can play, and they've got some skill position, folks. I know you're not a big believer in their quarterback, but he keeps on winning, and I don't, again, he's a little scat back fast dude. So
he is fast, and he's a heck of an athlete. He just he's not a quarterback. I've said this before, and again, I say a lot of things that I don't do myself any favors with some of the takes, but Taylor Green is in my brain like a significantly better quarterback than this dude, and they're undefeated, and we're sitting here firing coaches and whatever.
Well, it's the supporting cast.
Man,
would have a lot to do with that. Again. The best money, Phee told you last week that money could buy in college is what Sir Isaac the Guru told Phee early on in the season. Texas Tech just has a good, solid football team. They just stomped a fraud in BYU last week, and they're going to be in the college football playoffs. I do believe that the Big 12 has certainly superseded the ACC. My goodness gracious, who are they going to try to put in the ACC when Georgia beats Georgia Tech?
We have to talk about this. Okay, here's the scenario. I heard someone break it down today. So the situation right now is that Duke, who is a 4-loss team, is playing Virginia this week. They both have 1 loss in conference. So I think whoever wins that game is supposed to go to the ACC championship game. So there is and Vegas likes Duke by like 5.5 in that game. So there is a scenario where Duke beats Virginia as a 4-loss team. Miami is not in the ACC championship game. So doesn't win the ACC championship, and they have 2 losses. Duke wins the ACC championship. Miami's not even in it with 2 losses. Now you have a situation where you've got your winner with 4 losses, which everyone just assumed that the winners of the conferences get in, which is not the rule.
I'm telling you, they take Miami every day of the week. I think Miami's coming. Well, I mean,
so
goodness gracious, tell me about that, Guru. If you actually think they're going to take a 4-loss team just because they win the ACC?
They won't. But that's the funny thing is then you're in a position where you have the ACC winner with 4 losses, which is not going to get in. They're not. But then you have to make a crazy decision where someone who didn't even compete in the ACC championship is getting an at-large bid in Miami, which just makes there is a chance that not a single ACC team is in the playoff. They shouldn't have got
in last year and they had 2.
Oh, man, it's bad. They're bad. They're all bad. Because
can't you see Georgia Tech playing Duke in the ACC championship game?
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you there ought to be people pulling for somebody besides Georgia Tech because that Georgia loss at the end of the year is not going to affect that ACC standings.
No.
And if Miami's not in that championship game, folks, and the winner of Georgia Tech Duke, they're going to take Miami and upset a whole lot of folks in that conference.
Yeah, or you don't let Miami in. That's the only other solution because you can't put either one of the other 2
South Florida in?
No, none of them.
I know. I'm saying South.
Oh, yeah. You got to put either –
Isn't that another Big 12 team?
Memphis or South Florida. Yeah. You have to put either another team from the Big 12 or you have to put a Group of 5 team in there. But
there's a scenario where you could actually have 5 SEC teams in there and 3 Big 10 teams in there, and Notre Dame, there's 9.
Yeah, but then they ain't gonna put 5 SEC teams in there because some of us shot ourselves in the foot because they ain't gonna put a 3-loss SEC team in there.
No, that's what's wrong with Texas this week. If Texas beats Georgia this week, then Georgia will have 2. Texas will still have 2. They'll both get in. But if Georgia beats Texas, then Texas can't get in with 3 losses.
No.
And Ole Miss and Alabama and Georgia have all played one another. They're good.
Yeah.
They're all going to get in the top 12. So unless there's just some crazy. Vanderbilt is a sleeper because they got Tennessee and Kentucky later on. And Tennessee's a big in-state rivalry with them. Texas has got A&M and Georgia. Oklahoma's traveling to Alabama. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, Guru. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Phee Smee Networks and Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. As we recapped last week, we'll move into this week. We've already talked about the Arkansas-LSU game. Arkansas is getting 5.5 at Baton Rouge. Both of us like Arkansas because of our hearts. We would certainly not play that game.
Heck no.
Let's move on, Guru, to your picks this week and games.
So I've got Oregon and Minnesota. Oregon's a 25.5-point favorite at home against Minnesota. I actually went with the over 43.5 in that game.
I like that play based on Oregon scoring 43, and they didn't score but 16 last week, and Phee lost his play of the week.
The line's getting some help because Oregon's had back-to-back not good weeks. Minnesota kind of steady scores.
20.
Yeah, 20. And then I think Oregon probably picks it up this week. I don't like the spread because I think Minnesota's just good enough to not make me love 25.5. But I think the over is a really good play in that game, especially with Oregon at home because, like you said, they're liable to cover that on their own. And then same type of pick, and for the same reason, Indiana is at home against Wisconsin, 28.5-point favorites, but I'm going with the over again in that one, and it's 43.5 also. And same exact logic, too. I think Indiana could score 50-something on their own, and Wisconsin they're good enough for 10, maybe. But Indiana's going to – the Wisconsin's bad. And Indiana, after last week in the scare, I would imagine that old Kurt Signetti gets a little bit extra focus this week. And, again, I think both of those spreads could be covered by one team.
You're talking about the overs in both the Oregon and Indiana games being covered by those two teams. I agree with that. I think the logic is wise. I certainly think those picks would be over, and I think the last 2 weeks definitely have that. I'd be worried about Wisconsin scoring 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, the good news is
again, you know, they can talk about Fickle coming back all he wants next year, but I don't know how well that's going to do with their offense this year. They look like, again, it'd be rough if they got 17.
I agree with you. The preparation was reliant on Indiana scoring 50. So I'm not counting on Wisconsin.
He's not expecting a lot. It's a one-sided bet. Maybe he ought to just play Indiana minus the 25 and a half.
No.
He doesn't like big spreads.
No, I don't.
Okay, you got 2 over picks, Guru.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I like Notre Dame, which just makes me want to throw up, but I think Pitt's not good at football. Notre Dame is only minus 12.5 at Pitt.
That's at Pitt. And Pitt's sneaking around.
They are. They're in the ACC.
They're sneaking around, and they can play at home. But I tell you what, Guru, when you start talking about Notre Dame, they're a top-quality program that got beat the first 2 weeks, and they took a bath on them the first 2 weeks. They're a quality football team. I know you don't prefer Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame goes into Pittsburgh and stomps them.
I think so, too. And I think that it's just as much of what I think about Pittsburgh as it is Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a good team. I think they're top 5 in offense and defensive efficiency in college football. The 2 losses obviously is a whole nother deal, but Pitt.
Well, they got beat at Miami with a good transfer quarterback in game 1. Then they got beat at home with A&M that hadn't lost a game this year because of it. So if they don't lose again, and they're in. And they're a top 12 football team. I don't think they're good enough to win it, but they're certainly amongst the 12.
Yeah, they look a lot better now. And I think if we haven't learned anything from the last 3 weeks watching ACC football, Pitt being whatever they are, 7-2, it doesn't mean anything to me right now. So that might be one that I jokingly say that I take for as big as the sportsbook will let me.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here. He's mortgaged in the house on this one. He wants Notre Dame minus the 12.5 at Pittsburgh. If he likes to play a lot, he will not do any mortgaging of the home. All right, folks, what else do we have? Alabama minus the 6.5 at home against those paperclip Sooners. The Oklahoma Sooners getting 6.5. What do you think, Goo?
I think because of the specific matchup in this game, I feel good about Bama covering 6.5. I don't like OU, but I'm not disrespecting OU. It feels to me like their strong suit is their D-line and run defense. They kind of shut people down in that way. But that being said, Bama, who is historically a big offensive line run the football team, is actually currently an aired out team. They don't really need to run the football right now at all. But I think that the explosive plays will still be there, and I think that they're going to have no problem doing what they need to do. And
what about your Oklahoma quarterback?
You know, he kind of has been slacking a little bit. There's a chance he comes out and lights the world on fire again because we've seen him do it earlier in the year, but he hasn't been performing up to what everyone thought he was going to be. I mean, people were putting Heisman tickets on him after week 3 or 4. But no disrespect to OU, I just think that game sets up. I don't think Bama is going to be kept from doing what they're good at, and I think it's just a bad matchup for OU. But I think Bama also really needs to win the game. I think they need to keep winning. And so it's not going to be a situation where I think they're asleep, not preparing.
They're not sleepwalking against OU. Oklahoma's one of the top brands in college football and is well respected everywhere they go. Their defensive line and their D-backs are strong. They've got a quarterback that is capable. Alabama's playing the best football with Ohio State in the country. They've got a quarterback that's crushing it. I will tell you this, Oklahoma, if they win the turnover battle, they can cover and they can win. If Alabama wins the turnover battle, I think Alabama beat them 3 touchdowns. I think Alabama's playing right now, and they know they've got to win.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let up. And that coach now is getting more and more respect since losing the game at 1. and that quarterback was his first start. So he's looked good since. It's just tough to look that bad against Florida State, and getting Florida State's fans go nuts. Now look what's happened to their program, and then Alabama's gone forward. I can remember in 1971, the USC was ranked number 1 in the country. It had a tailback named Anthony Davis, and Arkansas just was a Southwest Conference football team that was in the top 25. And we kicked off the year at War Memorial Stadium, and Arkansas kicked to USC, and Anthony Davis ran it 102 yards back for a touchdown. And after that, Arkansas beat them 31-7. And we left there saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, Arkansas to the Cotton Bowl. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Arkansas to the Cotton Bowl. Well, Arkansas went 6-4-1. USC didn't lose again and won the national championship. So it's not the way you start, it's the way you finish. But in week 1, Alabama fans were talking about firing the boy.
Yeah, and we knew Florida State wasn't that good when you watched that game. They just had a quarterback who could run. And apparently, I'm smarter than every single scouting department at Alabama because
that's why he's the guru.
That's the only thing that the dude could do, and they just didn't realize the kid was fast. I don't know what really happened there, but yeah, obviously look how it's panned out. So
the speed didn't match the film. A lot of times Matt Jones would do that because of his stride. Once you get out there on the field, they took the wrong angles on that boy the first week. They probably told him, you got to spread out. And bottom line is that happens on any given day when you get momentum in football. But, boy, I can tell you, since Alabama week 1, they just keep gaining momentum. And you do like Alabama minus the 6.5 against OU. No disrespect to OU. They'll play good football. But if they lose that turnover battle, I think you're going to find Alabama beat them 3 touchdowns.
Actually, all disrespect to OU. I don't know why.
No, yes, that's not. We've got family in OU. We have friends.
And I love your family.
You work with people in OU that have OU ties. There's no reason for us to not enjoy the SEC and pull for good games. I want to see Alabama, Oklahoma play. That was a great brand game. Now, if Alabama beats them 42-0, I'm not going to care. If Oklahoma beats them, it goes to Tuscaloosa and beats them, then you'll have to hear it over at the border.
That's fine.
Because Arkansas is going to be at Baton Rouge.
I need OU to lose by about 50 because I don't know why I said no disrespect to OU. Because definitely disrespect OU. And I love people that live in Oklahoma. Good for you. But the Oklahoma Sooners football team got no love for them. No love. But, no, I think I like Bama. Like Bama a lot. And if DeBoer wears the black hoodie, I'm hammering Bama.
That's what he said every week. Isn't that what you say?
It is, yes.
It's kind of like the Cowboys play over and the Lions every week, just play them against the spread. At the end of the year, just look and see what you're doing. Guru pulled it off early. Black hoodie for Alabama. He's throwing heat.
Now, if I turn on the pregame and he's in a red hoodie, I'm going to be scrambling for my bet, trying to cash out and cancel it because they're in trouble. But
right. You heard right here, the hoodie makes all the difference.
It does. Next game, kind of interesting to me. Memphis is a 2.5-point dog at Eastern Carolina.
The Pirates of East Carolina, I can tell you that they're known as a very scrappy defensive football team. They've got an offense this year. I like Memphis. I like their coach. Unlike that they lost a couple of weeks ago. But I saw them play last week, and they struggled some in that game. So.
It was against Tulane, who is a solid football team.
Yes.
Very well coached, from what I hear. But I think Memphis is actually like I think they're a solid team. I haven't watched Eastern Carolina play, so I can't really vouch for what they look like. But I think Memphis looks to me like they're overperforming that conference. And so, I don't know. Them as a dog, if they were going in there as a 4.5-point favorite, I'd pay no mind to it. I'd be like, okay, cool. But when I saw they were a 2.5-point dog, I was like,
well, there's your money line play, folks, because I think Memphis Tigers, Of course, I grew up 7 miles downtown, which was Memphis State University at the time. Now it's University of Memphis. But I'm a big Tiger fan. I do think that they've got a quality football team. I would like them plus the 2.5. But East Carolina, just trust me, at the end of the year, they're always that top tier, that middle conference type deal.
Oh yeah, that's a team you always see in a bowl game. I mean, Arkansas's played against them, years ago in a bowl game. They're not a Houston in my mind.
No, Marcy, he just keeps talking trash about Phi Slamma Jamma in the dadgum Houston Cougars.
Yeah,
I don't know. They'll be in a bowl game too, folks. They play football down in Texas.
Not a Houston, they don't.
Oh, Mercy, he keeps talking trash. Well, hello.
I'm consistent.
Dolly.
Can't take that away from me.
Well, hello, Dolly. I don't know. I can take it away from you when you start talking about Houston.
Houston's just really bad. I mean, there's no.
How many times have you played against Houston this year and lost?
I don't think I've lost one. I don't think Houston's won a game.
Oh, mercy. I think they'll be in a bowl game. Well, I got, as well as you're talking this Duke, Virginia playoff discussion, and we got to get to the Georgia -6.5 with the Longhorns coming in, and it's now or never when it comes to the Longhorns.
So I think this one is kind of the opposite of the Bama OU game. I think Texas actually, one of the few highlights of their team this year is actually a good counter to Georgia's strength, which is their run defense is like number 2 or 3 in the country. Georgia wants to run the ball a lot. So that matchup actually sets up for Texas. However, I still like Georgia. I think that Texas has been better than what I thought they were going to be for a minute. After the little bad stretch, I was like, we're off the rails now. But I do think that there is still truth to the Texas that you've watched play through the course of the year.
Well, what your film says you are.
If Texas winds up backdooring a playoff spot, I mean,
they will if they beat Georgia and A&M. They're in.
It just doesn't feel right. And I haven't watched Georgia and just thought they looked crazy dominant either. But I think that the class in that game is Georgia, and I think that is kind of a big spread. I have Georgia -6.5 as my pick, but it's not one. If we're giving picks of the week, or my favorites, that probably ain't cracking the list. But because it's a
good
huge
game to watch.
Absolutely, great game to watch.
And I think your analysis of the game is right. Texas's defense allows them to play. Georgia sometimes, for 3 quarters, sleepwalks. They've got athletes all over the field, and they're 21-0 before Kentucky gets off the bus, and then the next week they're getting beat by 2 touchdowns at half. And so every team's, Georgia should win the football game, but I'm going to take Texas plus the 6.5.
Well, since we lead the sports broadcasting nation in time conversing day or night games, I do have to go ahead and discuss that. But this is a night game at Georgia, and I really want Arch Manning to be good at football, but he sure seems like he has not loved the huge moments yet. And going into Georgia with the lights, he's going to have another chance to show whether he can be the guy or not.
It wouldn't surprise anybody if the final score was Georgia 31 and Texas 14.
No.
It would not surprise one person. If he doesn't show up during this game and they don't make the 12-team playoff, no matter what he does later on against Arkansas and A&M, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, because you don't go to Texas not to make the top 12, okay? And you don't go to LSU or Florida either not to make the top 12. That's why they're making coaching changes. And Sark's not going anywhere.
No, and he's probably not either. He'll probably be back next year.
He's not going anywhere. I can tell you that's a quarterback issue in this NIL age. If you miss on a quarterback, especially a 5-star and can't miss, you saw it at Clemson. They went back-to-back with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, and they ain't had one since. But for 8 years, or 7, 8 years during those two, Clemson was always amongst them. Now you're running where everybody, who's going to be Ark Manning's backup? They criticized Ewers. Yeah, Ewers last year. I thought he was one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and but if he doesn't win any of the big games, and he is what he is.
And he'll probably be back at Texas next year too. Is what I'm saying. That's the other thing is because he ain't going to the NFL.
Well, he's making $4 million a year at Texas.
But they'll probably. I have a hard time imagining them going a different direction. If he says he's going to come back,
he got him another year.
That's what I would think, and so he'll be back.
And he does enough to let you think that he should start as a fourth-year senior at that time, or a third-year junior. Would he a third?
I think this is his third year.
Okay. Well, I know he said 2 years with Ewers.
I can't remember.
I think this is his third year, maybe his fourth, but I think it's his third year. So
I definitely don't think it's fourth. Definitely.
Well, I know that this year, I'm saying I know he's got one more if he wants to come back. He might have two more. Is what is the question? But yeah, I'm going to take Texas plus the 6.5 because of exactly your analysis. I believe that Texas has the defense to keep Georgia from scoring 30, and Texas has the offensive talent to score some points if they have the quarterback situation taken care of. I mean, Georgia's got athletes all over the field. Great game to watch.
Super, yeah.
Great game to watch. Take the points if you're Phee. We'll find out what D-Dan or Dan Smee thinks about it a little later on in the broadcast.
I'll tell you what channel I'd like to watch this game on. What channel is that game on? ABC. Yeah. Let me tell you what. I have YouTube TV. Love it. Loved it for several years. We were early to the YouTube TV game. Mastered multi-view, kind of groundbreaking on the multi-view thing. Nothing to me is better than turning on 2 TVs on a Saturday and Sunday, having multi-view going on both, watching 8 games. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. And boy, did I eat it up until, you got these billion-dollar companies, and they're so freaking greedy, and just because they can't get the top dollar amount that they think that they should get for a stinking contract, they're just gonna, hey, you know what? We're not signing anything, so we're taking all ESPN, ABC, everything off of YouTube TV, and we're gonna sell you another subscription on ESPN, which conveniently rolled out about a week before they broke the news that they weren't agreeing to a deal. For $30-something a month, you can watch just ESPN and ABC. And so you got all these YouTube TV people who are paying $80, $90 a month for YouTube TV, and I would venture to say, I'm making this up, I would probably say 40 to 50% of people that are subscribed to YouTube TV were driven heavily by the fact that they had all of the sports channels. Maybe more than that. I'm trying to be conservative. So now you got all these people who are paying $80, $90 a month for YouTube TV, and now don't get to watch their games. So they can either go pay another 30-something bucks a month, which not many people can just afford to be throwing $140 a month of subscriptions to watch sports. But it's all just because billionaires want the extra however much money to be even more billionaires than they are, which to me makes me want to throw up. And I really wish I could talk to every single individual that was involved in making that decision, preferably with no cameras around and maybe in like a dark alley somewhere. Because I bet you I'd have a lot of support with me that they would probably not appreciate how that conversation went. But I, for one, cannot afford to be paying $30-something a month for an ESPN subscription. So I've been in a position where I can't watch all these freaking sporting events, which just really, there's probably not just a lot of people in the world that enjoy watching sports more than me. There's probably a lot that are as much.
Rapid.
But, I mean, the fact that I can't turn on an Arkansas game, a Georgia versus Texas game on a Saturday evening is absolutely psychotic. And if they don't get that crap figured out, I'm about to reenact the dang Capitol storming, and I'm going to start recruiting all my sports friends, and we're storming freaking ESPN. And you know what? If it happens, then I incriminate myself right here, but I want it to be very clear. I will be in that group that storms ESPN, and they got to figure something out because.
Folks, I was in that business for several years in wireless communications. The programming for the fees are now, they normally come due during football season for 2 or 3 years in a row. DirecTV had the same problem with Disney. Disney owns ABC and all of the ESPNs. They are looking from their standpoint as there is a certain group of people that will not go without ESPN's platforms, and they are trying to remove the YouTube TVs and the Direct TVs and the Comcast and all of the cable and other streaming devices or satellite companies, and they're trying to get you to go to their app. So there is a tug of war there that happened with Direct TV for 2 years. It is now happening with YouTube TV. They end up getting it worked out, just like your federal government just got through working out the longest shutdown in history when they want to. So when their customers make so many complaints, which Sir Isaac is doing so now on the Phee Smee network, but the phone banks have lit up and the emails have lit up, I can assure you. And that is ESPN, Disney, ABC holding hostage the cable and streaming satellite companies is what it is. They don't, right now, ESPN, I can tell you, back in the 1990s, ESPN was the highest of your sports programming for cable companies. You would pay $3.50 just to have it on your cable system. Now it would be closer to $10. The last one was $8.97 that I saw. So ESPN has the power, they think, to go ahead and make you pay $15 a month for all their programming and not have YouTube TV. But YouTube TV has already got the market share that combines or clusters the programming. Therefore, there is a great asset, especially with what you talked about with that split screen. Yeah. That is why. Now, you're wrong as far as your 30 or 40 or 50%. College sports, professional sports, they don't make up that big of demographics. The ones that are fanatics.
I agree, but here's my logic in that percent, and I could be off, but in my logic, because I'm just remembering like when my parents were making that decision, and it was without me involved. You have options of different streaming services, and the driving factor for choosing one over the other was the bonus of the sports channels. Not that I'm going to specifically seek out YouTube TV for the sports, but if I'm looking at a channel list of Hulu TV, YouTube TV, Direct TV, and I'm comparing those options, and YouTube TV has a great sport option for around the same price, that was kind of the driving factor. So that was kind of like what I was saying, but it may be less. You may be right.
No, your tiers for sports programming are just like some tiers for movie programming. But YouTube TV was just like DirecTV. They came out with the NFL Sunday Ticket, the NBA Season Pass, the Major League Baseball. And back in the day, Phee had them all. Mm-hmm. That's why he went with DirecTV. Well, see, that's what you did with YouTube TV, yeah. But you're a smaller percentage than half.
Okay.
That's why YouTube TV hadn't already caved and paid what ESPN wanted. If it was that much market share, then they would have already caved. But ESPN is holding folks. Disney is the company that is holding folks hostage in that situation, and they're going to end up getting what they want, or they're going to find out the price match. What they're trying to do is, what is the maximum amount people will pay for sports programming on ESPN, ABC, and will kick in all the Disney? What is the minimum? and then they're looking at what are they going to charge the discount provider or basically the wholesaler in that point. So the created profit margin is what you're looking at from ESPN, and I know you hate that, but
yeah, well, and it's just another example, as if we needed one. Everyone already knows that the dollar drives everything, but like, what? Just why? Like, everyone enjoys your product. Also, I'm not just saying this because I'm mad right now, but dead serious. ESPN's app sucks. Genuinely sucks. I mean, I've had ESPN even while I've had YouTube TV, and I watch stuff on there all the time. Their app is horrible. It's slow. It kicks you out all the time. Like, it's just not an enjoyable app. And that sounds like the most biased thing ever, but I promise that's for real. But just for the money, and obviously the PR standpoint is everyone's pissed at them. So they don't care about that until it gets to a certain level. But
the revenue stream that they increased with the bet, ESPN betting, being able to bet on ESPN with that thing should make up for the money that they're having to charge. But instead, they want to double dip. I'm telling you,
that's the thing. And now you create a problem where all these people have suckered up, even though they're mad about it, and paid for ESPN. So now if you end up making a deal with YouTube TV again, now what does that look like for the people who just spent $60 for 2 months on your platform, and now they don't even need it anymore? So they just spent money for no reason, because now they're just going to go back to YouTube TV, which is just stupid also. The whole thing just makes me so mad. And I'm not going to subscribe to it, by the way, because I'm stubborn, and I actually mean what I say when I say I don't appreciate it. And I'm not judging anyone who does subscribe to it, because you're enjoying watching sports more than me right now. But I ain't going to go.
But you're not going to switch.
No,
see, that's what some people are threatening to do.
I'm not going to go pay $30-something a month in addition to YouTube TV. Like, heck no, I can't pay that. I can't pay for that. I mean,
but you can go to DirecTV, which is owned by AT&T, and not having that problem.
Well, I'm on my parents' YouTube TV, and so they're not gonna switch, and I'm not gonna pay on my own. It just
again,
it's so frustrating. The whole thing's frustrating. It makes me
makes him want to go to the sports bar while he can watch football.
Yeah, I'm
sure
he's
paying $90 a month.
I'm sure B-Dubs loves it. Because they're
customers. Freaky deaky doers. What about, before we are joined in 4 minutes by these crazy folks we've got all over the country, what else do you have for college football before we discuss it? You've got there's one of them right there. Hello, Mr. President. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Daddy. I'm recovering from some flu/COVID-like symptoms, so I'm not at my 100% best, but I'm happy to be here.
I can tell, son, that you're a little nasally. You probably had a head cold up there in the Northeast.
Definitely.
Sorry about that, Drew. That stinks. I feel like everyone I know has been getting unlucky this year with getting sick. It seems like a super consistent problem.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same for the people I know, too. Probably because we know the same people.
Probably because we know the same people.
This is the highlight of my week, joining y'all, so I'm happy to be here for the next 15-ish minutes.
Absolutely. What's up, Will?
What's going on, fellas?
Folks, we're being joined now by J. Dan Smee and Sir William Smee, along with Mr. President. How you folks doing across the United States of America tonight?
We're doing well. Jordan, you have any words you'd like to say?
No, I'm just ready to take down Phee.
Taking down Phee. The females versus Phee last week. Queen Bee went 6-4. Phee went 6-4. We'll see what J. Dan Smee can do against me this week. I doubt that she will win, but who knows? She is brilliant in everything she does.
It's not very hard to take you down, I feel like.
I weeble and a wobble, but I don't fall down.
Especially in fantasy football.
Embarrassing.
All right. What do you want to get into first? You doing college picks first?
Oh, my goodness, Guru. What in the world are you talking about? You've got Mr. President, you've got Sir William Smee and the wonderful wife with you, and you can't get on the dadgum the list. Will, can you get and tell Sir Isaac, the Guru that's holding my phone, what our first picks in college football are tonight?
I certainly can, even though I'm driving right now. But I believe in multitasking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
Absolutely not.
So the first of the college games I had was Clemson versus Louisville, and Louisville was -2.5.
There you go, folks. A Friday night matchup between Louisville minus the 2.5 versus Clemson. We'll go straight into the picks with the finest young lady on the network right now, J. Smee. What do you have for me?
I'm picking Clemson.
Cade Klubnik is a great quarterback.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go again.
It's a good choice.
She likes Clemson, and so does Phee, as there won't be any problems with that game. Let's rock and roll. Next one on the list, Sir William Smee.
We've got Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh, and Notre Dame is -12. You want Jordan to pick first?
I will take the Notre Dame Fighting Irish minus the 12.5 against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's a fraud. What do you say to me, Miss J. Dan Smee?
I was also going to pick Notre Dame because I don't know who Pittsburgh is other than the Steelers. So let's go with the Golden Helmets.
If the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing Notre Dame, who would you pick?
I picked the Steelers,
Okay,
but just
thank
for
goodness.
you.
Okay.
Ironically enough, both teams could have golden helmets. That's the best part of that.
Folks, we've got Mr. President here, tuning in from the Northeast, a big Philadelphia fan. Sir Isaac the Guru goes to the Northeast to see Mr. President, and the state of Pennsylvania go 0-4 that weekend. And J. Dan Smee doesn't even know Pittsburgh exists when her brother-in-law lives in the same or works in the same state. What do you say, Mr. President?
I say that I'm rooting for a great week of Phee versus female. And if it ends up being a tie again, don't you think that the tie goes to the female, Daddy?
Yes, I do, and I thank you for bringing that up, son. Thank you for just, absolutely shooting my balloon in front of the country.
Sorry.
I would just like to ask Sir Isaac. I didn't know the Guru, by the way. Yes, I didn't know that the entire state of Pennsylvania went 0-4 while you were there. So I was just wondering if maybe you could leave, Arkansas for the weekend. Just go anywhere but here. Well, where is Arkansas playing? Are they at LSU?
Yeah, so I just got to stay out of Louisiana.
Okay, stay at Louisiana if you don't.
Yeah, no, trust me, if you think that I haven't seriously considered planning my entire rooting for sports schedule around not being near the team I'm rooting for, you're crazy. Because, if I go somewhere, they tend to not do so good, which is pretty incredible, to be honest with you.
Tongue's a powerful thing. I tell him a tongue's a powerful thing. You got to speak blessings. Isn't that right, J. Dan Smee?
Yeah, sounds about right.
There you go. What is the next game on our list?
We've got Arkansas versus LSU, and LSU's favored by 5.5.
What do you have, Miss Smee?
I'm for sure going LSU.
Ooh, she loves the colors of the Bio Bengals and Baton Rouge with LSU minus the 5.5. Phee will change, go right ahead with the Razorbacks plus the 5.5, and hope they haven't given up the rope for Bobby Petrino.
Fair enough. The next game on the list is Texas versus Georgia. Georgia -6.
I'm gonna pick Georgia.
You got it right here. J. Dan Smee picks as the Bulldogs. Ugga, ugga, ugga. Let the big dog eat by less than a touchdown, -6 at home against the Longhorns of Texas. Phee will come in with the Hook'em Horns and take Texas plus the 6, going to Georgia to cover. Well, there you go right there. We've got 4 or 5 right there. Is that all of them? We still got one left, don't we?
We got one more college game, and it's Oklahoma versus Alabama. Alabama's favored by 5.5.
Who was Jordan's pick in the Georgia game?
She took Georgia.
She picked Georgia.
All right.
She's picked Clemson also. And she picked LSU.
And Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame.
And now I'm going to pick Bama because I cannot root for the Sooners. I'm so sorry about that.
I love
There
that.
you go, another Oklahoma bias right there. Got a sister-in-law living right over, loving them, but no love for the paper clips in the Smee family tree. I will take Bama also, minus the 5.5, or is it 6.5?
It was 6.5.
So we finished the college fee versus fee the females with two different picks of the 5. We'll move on to the pros right now and let J Dan get her picks over while we can discuss all the games and she doesn't have to stay on the line.
First game is Chargers at Jags, and the Chargers are favored by 2.5. Jordan, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with the Chargers because I hear they're doing like pretty good. And
You just know that because you watched them beat the crap out of the Steelers this past week?
is that what happened?
That is what happened.
See, I did not remember that, but also I think the blue and the yellow are really pretty. So for that reason, I'm choosing the Chargers. Also, we saw a Chargers game, so I just feel like that's good luck.
You are just feeling it right now. I love it. I
I have a sense about these things.
the commentary is amazing on that pick. Okay, Dad, who you got?
I got the same bolt that she does. I mean, y'all living in SoFi out there with her getting her master's degree and you training professional athletes, baby. I got to go with SoFi. I love the powder blue. I love the uniforms. One of my favorites and one of the best athletes to ever come out of the University of Arkansas, Lance Allworth, Bambi in the NFL, was a San Diego Chargers. I still love San Diego rather than the LA Chargers, but I will take the Chargers also. Going from the West Coast to the East Coast as a favorite at 12 noon, you normally don't do well, but Phee suckered in by the 2 from the West Coast. Next pick, Sir William.
All right, the next game is the Tampa Bay Bucks at Buffalo. The Bucks are quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield, and Buffalo's quarterback is Haley Steinfeld's husband, I think.
That is correct.
So they are favored. Buffalo is by 5.5. Jordan, what are you thinking on this game?
I'm going to cheer for Haley Steinfeld's husband on this one. Also, what was the show that we watched, Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Or was it?
No, it was Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that kind of made me like him in the show. He seems pretty cool, so we'll go with the Bills.
There's a whole lot of young ladies in Garland County that like the way Josh Allen looks in a uniform also. In this case, J. Dan Smee likes Josh Allen's wife. I'll take Baker's dozen and the Tampa Bay Bucks plus the points.
All right. Bad choice, Dad, but it's okay. The next game is Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore favored by 7.5. I heard today that Lamar Jackson was back to practice. I don't know if he was a full participant or not, but I expect him to play. Jordan, what do you got, Baltimore or Cleveland?
Well, first of all, I don't know what a brown is, so I'm not cheering for whatever that mascot is. And I do like Lamar Jackson. He just seems like a cool dude. So we're going to go with the Ravens.
She likes the Ravens, and I have to tell you what, I totally agree with her. You'd have to go back to the 1960s to see the mascot Brownie on the Cleveland Browns football field. It was not a pretty sight then. It kind of looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy with a football and a helmet. But that's basically the mascot back then. Since then, I don't think anybody's thought anything more about the Browns rather than Jim Brown. Might have been the name of the team, but it was really an ownership is why they were the last name Browns. Bottom line is, you got to play the Ravens now. They've got to win every week. Myles Garrett will, if Lamar Jackson is questionable or can't run, they just need to turn the ball and hand it off to Derrick Henry. I think the Ravens win by more than 8, but it's going to be close, and home dogs by more than a touchdown. There's always some craziness that comes into play. Give me the Ravens minus the 7.5 on the road.
All right. Next game we've got is Kansas City -4 at Denver. Who you got, Jordan?
Well, I don't like the Chiefs at all, so I'd like to see them lose. So whoever the other team is.
You got it. You heard it here, folks.
It's the
She
worst.
said whoever the other team is.
It's the worst take I've heard yet.
She would like to have the home dog by more than a field goal. Denver plus the 4. I know the Chiefs have been playing well of late. Folks think they're playing as well as anybody in the NFL. Give me the home dog Broncos plus the 4 also.
All right.
Stop copying my picks. You got to pick your own thing, okay?
Okay, I'll take the Chiefs minus the 4.
All right. In the last game.
Now, you hear that. The record is I'll take the Chiefs minus the 4. Forget all that trying to be nice stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Chiefs minus the 4. Go right ahead now.
Thanks, Deb. We'll take the next game is Detroit at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is favored by 2.5 points. Jordan?
But this seems kind of like a hard one because I don't want to upset the president. The Lions are pretty cool. But for Drew, I'm going to choose the Eagles because I don't think you can really beat them, even the Lions. So I'm choosing the Eagles.
Thank you.
I will take the
if
Lions.
I have any magic and I pick the Lions, then Drew will be really mad at me. So I don't want to be shunned like Isaac out of the state.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll take the Lions and upset Mr. President plus the 2.5. I expect it to be a great football game. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Miss J. Diane Smee. I appreciate you. Now you can get off the phone if you'd like, or you can have Sir Isaac pick you a money line parlay.
I do have to. Jordan does have to do me a favor, and I don't even need to explain it. I'm just going to rattle through these games really fast, and I need you to tell me impulsively, first reaction, which team sounds better in your brain. You down for that? Okay.
I got that.
First one, Oregon or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Next one, Indiana, Wisconsin.
Indiana.
Next one, Notre Dame, Pitt.
Notre Dame.
Alabama, Oklahoma.
Bama.
Memphis, Eastern Carolina.
Memphis.
Georgia, Texas.
Georgia.
And I'm going to be rich now because she'll go 5-0. And then on or 6-0. And on my picks, I'll go 0-6. So I'm trailing Jordan's impulse.
You heard it right here on the Phee Smee Network, folks, with Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. Special guest tonight, and I'm telling you right now, Sir Isaac called it before he came on. He said that whatever Jordan picks, he's going to play a parlay, and he's going to split the money with her if he wins.
I didn't say that part.
75-25 is fine. We'll take the 75. Appreciate it, Isaac.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, no.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jordan. We will know whether it's Phee or the females next week because we've got several different picks that are separate from one another, and we shall see who comes out on top.
All right, Jordan's hanging up. Say bye, Jordan.
Bye.
Bye, Jordan.
All right, Mr. President, what do you think? You've been going on over there with running up a phone bill. We're sorry to keep you waiting in your sickness. Hope you're feeling better. What do you think about these picks and these games?
I think both sides made some great picks. Do you want me to go through highlights individually, or are you going to call them out again to talk about in more detail? I don't want to mess up your format.
No, no format for me. I'm sitting there looking at Sir Isaac with 2 phones in his dadgum hands, and he's not saying a word, and I just don't know which one to talk to first because I'm not holding either one of your phones.
We need to hear. I've heard enough of Will's voice for at least the current moment. I need to hear more of the president.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I love Will,
Go
but I
right
miss
ahead.
the president.
Ask the question,
All right,
knucklehead.
it's 80-20 now, by the way, but after
80-20. Drew, did you if you've got the list of the ones they went through, do you want to just rattle through those, and if there's any one that you like in particular?
Sure, I'll hit a couple of highlights here. The first one that I'll point out is Bama versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma has one of, if not the best defenses in the SEC. They have the best ranked defense in terms of yards and points, but Bama has the best ranked defense in terms of turnovers. I think that turnovers are going to be key in this game, and I think Bama wins by a touchdown. So I'm taking Bama.
Like it.
For Georgia, Texas, this is a rematch of the SEC championship game last year. Actually, Georgia beat Texas twice last year, but this time I'm thinking that Arch Manning actually plays great against a big opponent, a school that he almost decided to go to, and I'm taking Texas with the points. They may win outright, but they're at least not going to lose by the 6.5.
Like that.
For LSU and Arkansas, every time so far on this show, I've taken the Hogs. My Homer Hogs preference has been showing, and every time I've picked them, they've lost. So let's try a little emotional hedge. I'll take LSU. They're going to win by 30 points. Arkansas is going to have 6 turnovers. We're actually going to run the Wild Hog, not the Wildcat, but the Wild Hog the whole game. Bobby's going to get fired at halftime, and we're going to lose. So that's my prediction. Hopefully the emotional hedge and reverse psychology works out there.
That is definitely reverse psychology 101. Isaac goes through it every single week. It's a dadgum torment of the mind. It's the head versus the heart. I don't understand it. You just play the best team with the best odds. This week, I tell you, Arkansas I'm taking them plus the 5.5 just because every game they play, they're in it.
Nothing would make me happier than if we could. Surely firing 2 coaches in the same year would be a record, right?
Well, I think Mr. President was doing a little exaggerating.
Oh, I'm sure he was, but then he gave me a great idea, and
Uh-oh.
I honestly think that's how we save our season.
Okay.
Become the first team ever to fire 2 coaches in the
There
same
you heard
year.
right here on the Phee Smee Network, right here with Phee SPORTSBALL, Sir Isaac the Guru. Guru decides he wants Arkansas to fire not 1 but 2 coaches in the same season. I don't know.
I know. I think it'd be great.
Well, what do you think of Sir William Smee, the one and only? Do you believe that Alabama will beat OU, or do you think OU will cover?
I've got Bama. I just believe that they're playing good football right now. Simpson's playing really well at the quarterback spot. He's actually playing better than Mateer. Everyone was high on Mateer early this year, saying he was the Heisman front runner, and then ever since his injury, I just feel like he hasn't looked the same. So I'm taking Bama as well.
All 4 of us on the panel, Guru, Phee Smee, Mr. President, and William Smee, all pick Alabama minus the 6.5. Almost always, that's not a good sign, folks.
I was going to say, you know what?
If I was anyone listening to this, I'd go bet the house on Oklahoma.
I'm going to take one for the team because I care about y'all's record, and I'm going to take Oklahoma.
Oh,
So
he's got a hidden agenda there, folks. Hey, Sir William Smee, what do you think about the Texas-Georgia as both Phee Smee and Mr. President take Texas with Sir Isaac taking the Bulldogs?
Well, if you guys remember the last time y'all asked me to pick a Texas game, I said that they are who they are and that Vanderbilt was going to beat them. And, the crazy thing is they went out there and pretty much dog-walked Vandy the whole game. And I was like, man, I might not be very good at this whole picking games thing. So Texas really did make an impression on me that game, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick Georgia again and pick against Texas because I just don't believe. I think that game was an anomaly, and I think that they're going to come back down to earth against Georgia.
All right, folks, it's a 2-2 panel with Sir William Smee and Sir Isaac the Guru taking the Bulldogs at home minus the 6.5. But Mr. President and Phee Smee taking the underdog Longhorns, expecting their defense to hold it close and Arch Manning to have a good game this season.
I got 2 questions for y'all on college football. One is, can either one of you picture when you watch Texas A&M play this year? Am I? And the answer is completely fine if it's a yes. But can either one of you picture Texas A&M being good enough to win a national championship this season? Will.
I'll let you take it first. Okay. That's a tough question. I mean, if you asked me this at the beginning of the year, even a couple of weeks ago, I would have said no, just because I really didn't think there was that much of a difference between is it Marcel Reed and Taylor Green. That take has slowly died a slow death, but I actually would say, based on what they put on tape through the first part of the college football season, that I could see that team winning a national championship. There's not many teams I look out there and think that I couldn't see Texas A&M beating in a one-game matchup. So as crazy as it is, the answer is yes for me.
All right. What do you think, Drew?
It's difficult because Texas A&M is one of those teams where, for me, you have to see it to believe it. I almost won't believe that they can win a national championship until they actually do. But to avoid completely hedging, I'm going to say I don't think they're a real contender until they go undefeated in the regular season. I say that because I want them to beat Texas in the final game of the season. If they can do that, then I'll consider them a real contender.
That's fair. I keep talking about the fact that their team, they obviously look solid, and at the beginning of the year I was actually picking them. I picked them to beat Notre Dame and didn't have that much of a problem with them, but I literally cannot watch that quarterback play and like picture him in a big game like being a good quarterback. It kills me. Every week I just watch he doesn't really throw the ball. I make myself look dumb by saying this, but I think Talon's a better quarterback than him, and yet we're sitting here firing two coaches in a season. But it just they keep tricking my mind, because I think it's what you said, Drew, where I just haven't seen them do it, so that's probably why I can't picture it. But they to me, I keep waiting on them to lose, and they just keep winning games, and they make me look really dumb. But the other thing I was going to ask is, it's more of a statement for open discussion, but there is a situation right now that could occur in the fraudulent ACC where Duke, a 4-loss team, could be in the ACC championship game, and there could be a winner of the ACC that will by no means get into the college football playoff, because Miami will not be in that championship game. And there is a universe that exists where not a single ACC team gets into the playoff unless they let Miami in as a at-large bid, which is just going to be a really tough look when they got two teams duking it out for the ACC championship, and then they just pass them up to put Miami in. But Drew, I'll let you start, because you, in our frauds discussion the other day, talked about the whole ACC as frauds, and so far you have been more than correct in that. But do you think if obviously Miami is not in the championship, and if Georgia Tech ends up with 3 losses, do you think that Miami should be in the playoff, or do you think the ACC should have 0 teams in the playoff?
You say that there's a universe that exists where the ACC might not have any teams make the playoff. I call that a moral and just universe.
Amen. Amen. They got 2 in last year and they didn't belong.
That's right. And so, if Georgia Tech somehow beats Georgia and they only have 2 losses, 3, maybe. But I really think that no ACC team is deserving this year. Sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. Will?
I just agree with my brother. I really have nothing else to add to that. I think he's taken this take and made it clear, and I agree with him.
I do agree that it's a moral and just universe, and I want to live in that universe.
I don't think anyone could say it better than that.
I do believe Miami gets in at the 12th best team if they win out.
Yeah, I think that they will do that, which will just make me mad.
But I do not think there's any way that they're going to take an ACC champion with 3 or more losses, no matter if they win the ACC. But Fee's been wrong before. They didn't put Georgia in 2 years ago in the top 4 teams. And now last year, for some strange reason, the ACC got SMU and Clemson in. And this year, I don't think any of them are deserving except Miami, and Miami's got to win out in order for that to happen. And then they're at 12. And don't forget, you've got some schools down there that are pressing, like South Florida, that could sneak in there.
Yeah. Or, yeah, I mean, anyone really, other than anyone in the ACC, I feel like. Do you guys have any, Will, I'll start with you this time. Do you have any NFL games that stand out to you that you feel very passionate about? Hopefully it's not the Steelers.
No, I don't feel passionately enough about the Steelers to pick that game by any means. I think that the Bills and Bucks game could be a really good game this week.
Yeah.
That's an exciting one. And Seahawks Rams is another great game.
Excellent game
this week.
Yep.
Those would be the two. I think Chiefs and Broncos is a fun game. Because if the Broncos win, that puts the Chiefs in a really, really tough spot to win the division. But those would be 3 games that I'll keep an eye on this weekend. Obviously, Lions and Eagles is a great game as well, but I don't really want any part of that as far as picking it, just because I'm scared to put the jinx on.
Yeah, same. I will not voice my opinion on the Eagles.
Again, Phee tells I'll just take the Lions plus the 2.5 against Mr. President's Super Bowl champion Eagles in Philly this weekend. I'm here to tell you right now, it'll be a great game to watch. I just think the Lions, I just play them every week. I tell people, you play Dallas and over, you play the Lions minus the spread. At the end of the year, you look up, you're 13-3. So if this is a week I lose, who to lose better to than my oldest son, Mr. President? But I'll take the Lions plus the 2.5. What do you think about your pro games this week and your opinions, Mr. President?
Well, thank you for asking. I'll say my 3 games this week. I'll start with Bills and Bucks. The Bills are a weird team. They lose to the Falcons. They get blown out by the Dolphins. And then they blow out the Panthers and they beat Kansas City. That's their last 4 weeks. It's very bizarre. It's very inconsistent. I think that they beat the Bucks, but not by 5.5. So I'm taking the Bucks with the points. I just am not confident in the Bills' defense versus a high-powered offense with Baker Mayfield. So I think that they'll still pull it out, but it's going to be a 40-38 game or something crazy like that.
Mr. President agrees with his father and takes the Bucks plus the 5.5. Sir William Smee, do you want to take Jordan's stance, or what do you want to do on this Bills Tampa Bay game?
Well, since she's no longer a part of the phone call, I'm going to ask y'all kindly not to tell her I picked against her, but I'm actually taking the Bucks in this game. I think that similar to Drew's thought process of the Bills' inconsistency in their defense, I think that the Bucks are going to put up a lot of points in this game, and I just think that they're coming off a tough loss last week against the Patriots as well, and they're angry too. And I think they're going to come out and have a good game and somehow walk out of Buffalo with a win.
I like it. Drew, will A.J. Brown, who thinks he should be dropped from fantasy teams, and the Eagles be victorious against the Lions?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question? I heard the A.J. Brown part, but I think you cut out for the next
Well, that was the least.
If whoever does have him, if they want to drop him, I'd gladly pick him up. So that's fine.
I said, do you think the Eagles stack a couple wins and get it done against the Lions this week, or are you worried about that one?
That's a great question. The Lions play man defense at the 4th highest rate in the NFL, and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense have done exceptionally well against man defense. So even though the offense has struggled throughout the whole season and been inconsistent, I think that they perform fine this game. I think A.J. Brown actually has a good fantasy week after telling people to drop him. But that's not to say that the Eagles run away with this. I think it will be a very close game, an exciting game. And I'm going to take the Birds to win and cover. But if they don't win, it won't be because they don't match up well with the Lions. At least on paper, they do. it'll be because of turnovers or something along that sort.
I cannot imagine a world where that's not a close game or a good game. I mean, it feels that's got to be a good football game. I'm excited to watch it.
What do you think for Sir William Smee? You want the Eagles? You want the Lions?
I'm going to agree with Drew. I'll take the Eagles as well. I think that they're, as far as teams in the NFL go, I love the mindset that they come to every game with. It hasn't looked pretty this year, but a lot of this noise around A.J. Brown, I think it's mainly just because he cares so much. He just wants to win and he wants to perform well. And I think he knows that they have a lot of room to grow, and that he wants to get there. So I think they're a mentally tough team. I think they know the challenge that's walking in the door. Similar to last week going to Green Bay, there were a lot of talking heads who thought the Packers would dethrone the Eagles in that game, but the Eagles do what they have to do to win football games, and I think they can do that again this week.
Well, you heard right here on the Phee Smee Network, you've got Mr. President and Sir William Smee picking the hometown Eagles minus the 2.5. You've got Phee and Sir Isaac the Guru picking the Detroit Lions plus the 2.5. Our next game would be.
I like that we briefly went over it about how it's a good game, but I kind of want to see what everyone's pick is for the Seahawks and Rams. In my mind, I love the Rams in this game because I feel like they've had back-to-back kind of just like weird outlier weeks. Like 2 weeks ago, they almost played like an unrealistically perfect football game. It was actually kind of like insane. And then last week, it was like 2 defensive touchdowns, got out super early, looked really good. And I feel like not that I don't think they're overrated, but I think that the Rams are a more solid football team at the moment, and I think they'll probably come back down to reality a little bit. So my pick in that game would be Rams minus 3.5. But what do you feel about that game, Drew?
I think that's great analysis, Isaac. I think that if you're just going off of the performance of these teams throughout the course of this season, these are the best 2 teams in the NFC. I'm not saying that's how it's going to be at the end of the year or in the playoffs, but at least to this point, these 2 teams have performed great. I think that it's very possible these teams split their meetings this year. The Rams are at home here. I think they've got the Hall of Fame coach. They've got the Hall of Fame quarterback, and I think they'll take this game with the points. So I think they'll cover.
Will?
All I have to say is Jackson Smith and Jigba has been absolutely amazing for me in fantasy football this year. What a great pick by me, and
True.
I'm so thankful that I made that pick. I also, on the topic of fantasy football, would like to ask Isaac why you didn't play Travion Henderson this week. He's already got 2 touchdowns in the first half. Any comment on that?
Are you serious?
I am serious. Yeah, he's got 17 points right now.
Because who did I play?
You're playing Seth, but you played Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, and Nico Collins in your flex.
Well, that would be. I mean, I
Pretty salty.
I was gonna say good for him that he's got 2 touchdowns, but I probably would have made the same decision. If I was in a bigger bind, where I was picking a more, if I didn't have 2 consistent guys in my starting lineup, then I probably would have thrown them in there. But also, it is now a given that one of those 2 will have about 3 points. So thank you for bringing that up early. I also thought there was a chance Ramondre was playing. But also, really weird comparisons to him and Jahmyr Gibbs. You remember when Jahmyr Gibbs came into the league and it was like the same type of discussion around how explosive they both were? And Jahmyr Gibbs got off to that super slow start. I want to say you either had him in fantasy or me, and we like traded him or something. I don't remember. But
That did happen.
it waited till like week 10, and then out of nowhere, he started making big plays, scoring touchdowns. And Travion Henderson has been like non-existent through the beginning of the season, and now the last 3 weeks, all of a sudden, he's bursting onto the scene. So it feels like the exact same path that Jahmyr Gibbs was on. But no, thanks for bringing that up. I'm glad he's doing good on my bench. I hope that. I mean, honestly, dude. No, you're fine. I'm stringing together one of the craziest fantasy seasons in that league that I've ever had in my entire life. Just everything about it. It's been awesome, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
As he beats a limp, injured Phee Smee this last week, 148-141. When I have to tell you, Sir William Smee's scoring a lot of points, but Mr. President's the top of the league, so you got them all right here on the Phee Smee Network.
Yeah, they're both a problem. They're both, and I am choosing to not complain as much as I could because I realized I had to humble myself a couple weeks ago when I realized that Will was also struggling with his record, and he was performing significantly better than me. So he was in the same boat as me. The difference is now he is kind of righted the ship a little bit, and I'm still bringing up the rear. But
I've had some pretty good matchups in recent weeks. But
you and Drew both have been just.
I mean, Mr. President's been killing too.
I know. Well, that's what I don't even have to discuss him because he's just sitting at the top whooping everybody.
That's right.
And I think
Drew's an absolute buzzsaw right now.
Yeah,
he's
scoring like 190 points a week.
Dangerous.
I've been very, very lucky. I wouldn't call it any skill. Very, very lucky. And, hey, Will, joke's on you because Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, and Nico Collins are all going to score 3 touchdowns this week, okay? So it was the right decision by Isaac to sit down Henderson, okay?
Yeah, well, now I have another parlay to play. So.
Oh, mercy. I tell you what, they're costing Isaac all kinds of money right here on the Phee Smee Network. I can just tell you that right now. Dangerous. It's a dangerous day right here, folks. When you start talking about all the way from the Northeast to the dadgum guru and Sir William Smee, there is some football knowledge on the line right here tonight.
The president has deer in his front yard right now.
That's his favorite.
I have to go because my dog is losing his mind with deer running across my front yard. But I've loved talking with y'all. Thanks for having me on again.
Look forward to it next week, son. Love you and have a safe day.
All right, thank you.
See
Bye-bye.
you, Drew.
Love you too.
See you, Drew. This is going to have to be my last pick as well, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Well, you're already 20 minutes long. I'm sure your wife is very happy with you. So,
she is just absolutely elated right now.
I was waiting on your NBA pick since I'm 1 for 1 1 for 1 in Will's NBA pick of the day.
All right, that's what I'll tell you. I'm taking the Seahawks. No explanation needed in that game, and then I'll give you Isaac and Dad an NBA game to pick. Oh, goodness.
You hear right here that Sir William Smee goes with his daddy, Phee, picks the Seahawks plus the 3.5 against Sir Isaac's and Mr. President's Rams. Now, go right ahead, Sir William Smee, about these NBA picks.
All right, so tomorrow night we've got NBA Cup group play for the NBA Cup in-season tournament. And the Warriors are playing the Spurs tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. on Prime Video. Catch it there if you can. The Spurs are favored by 2.5, and it's at San Antonio. The Warriors actually beat the Spurs last night on a 46-point performance from Steph Curry, coming back from a pretty rough bout with the flu. So Warriors are 7-6, Spurs are 8-3. They've been really, really tough this year. Wembanyama has definitely hit his stride,
which is a long stride at that.
And it only takes 3 to get down the court. But I'd like to know y'all's picks on that game tomorrow night.
You know, I think that it took a heroic performance for the Warriors to beat them the other night by Steph. But I'm still going with Golden State.
Jiminy Cricket, threw the curse on Sir William Smee's Golden State Warriors. He wants the Warriors plus the 2.5. Go ahead and give me the guaranteed win, folks. I'll take the Spurs minus the 2.5, and I'll be pulling for the Warriors because I always pull for the Warriors. But Sir Isaac the Guru, he just threw the dadgum hex on him right there. He wanted, he wanted the Spurs. You know he wanted it. You can see it in his eyes, folks.
That's crazy. I'll slip you a 20 to switch your pick, Isaac. I mean, come on.
I can't because I think that what happened is I think Steph played his butt off and no one else had to. But I think that they'll catch him a little bit of surprise. Steph will have, here's my official prediction. Steph will have 29 points with a pretty decent game. They'll get 10 plus from every other starter and a bunch of bench points and beat him in a different way. Wembanyama is going to have 42, 14, and 8 with 5 blocks. And it's just not, he's not going to be able to carry the Spurs. I'm going with the experience. I think Draymond Green probably gets ejected. Go ahead and lock that in.
Pretty safe bet.
I think that's minus. I think that's minus 200 for that.
Minus odds on an injection.
He's hijacked the show, folks. He's hijacked the show right
And
here with
also-
Draymond Green getting ejected in the game.
And also, I think my detailed projections, I'm undefeated too, because the other night I said Khalil Ware was going to be having a panic attack when he's looking up at the alien, and I looked at his stats at the end of the game just for fun, and I'm not sure that he was on the court. It told me he played like 20-something minutes, but his stats didn't look like he was on the court. So
Yeah.
it's
I
just
think you're
true
pretty spot
expert
on,
analysis. And someone should have wrote down exactly what I said about the Warriors game too, because
Good thing we've got you on recording. Everyone likes to hear
that's
from the
actually
guru.
bad thing we got on recording.
No, it's a good thing we had Sir Isaac the Guru and Sir William Smee out here at the Phee Smee Network. Thank you for joining us tonight, Sir William Smee. We love you. Thank you, and I hope to have you again next week, as you will find out if Phee can beat the females this week.
It's been an absolute pleasure. You guys enjoy your night.
See you, Will.
See ya.
There you go, folks. They come from all over the United States of America to be on the Phee Smee Network with Sir Isaac the Guru. He is the draw. And I can tell you this much, you got some knowledge on those phones.
I don't know about that. I fake it till I make it. You talking about holding them? Knowledge of how to hold them, or knowledge of sports?
Knowledge on who was on the lines.
Oh, yeah. I tried.
Yeah, and I give you an A+ on holding the phones, Isaac.
Well, that's a good.
We'll find out if
rule.
they worked, since that mic tends to work better on the phones than this one, and we don't know why. So it was my idea to come up with both phones being over at that mic. So if it didn't work, it's Fee's fault. If it did work, Isaac deserves no credit whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for our guest, and we will find out if Miss Jodan Smee can actually beat Phee. So we do have some picks that are opposite. She was talking a little trash to Phee, talking a little trash, little nickel and diamond, two-line rhyming. She was trippy dogging on Phee a little bit, talking about Denver and the Chiefs. I said Denver. She picked something else. I just took the Chiefs. That's an automatic win.
That's the right pick.
That's
by
an
the way.
automatic win.
It is.
It's an automatic win.
It's actually that's a very underrated big time game for the Chiefs. Like that's a normal middle of the season. You're used to the Chiefs being what
3-0.
7. Yeah, I mean, but they really need that game, and I'm actually interested. I don't need to know if Patrick Surtain's out, because
I think he's doubtful.
if he's out,
Kansas City could beat him 2 touchdowns.
I think, yeah, because the Broncos like to do this thing, and they've been good at it, where they kind of disappear for 3 quarters, and then they'll have 1 quarter where they score enough points to win games because their defense is so good. I just think Kansas City's been good enough that I don't think you can get away with that in this game. Also, I would love to know Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid's record off a bye, because I would imagine
You might need to check the Kansas City against the spread at Mile High Stadium, because Mile High and Kansas City for years, boy, I tell you, what a rivalry that AFC West was for years, with Kansas City and Oakland, and Kansas City and San Diego, and Kansas City and Denver. I mean, just some phenomenal football games back in the day in that conference, in that division. So, I took the Chiefs -4, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's a field goal game. The Chiefs tend to like to play people close and don't cover a lot of spreads on the road. But They've been an anomaly.
This year it's been a little different.
I know.
I'm working on getting us some odds for the Jordan
I
six
can
legger.
only imagine what that will be, and I can only imagine that'll turn your $5 into.
This is gonna be amazing if you somehow get this right.
500.
All right, I'll let you know. I'm slow on my finding games. Also, love to hear that my bench is going off right now. I'm really happy you told me that.
Hey, nothing wrong with the fantasy football. As this week we will be looking to just skim over a little bit of fantasy football as Jonathan Taylor is on bye, and you've got Malik Neighbors out for the year. You've got Lamar Jackson questionable. You have some big time running backs this week that I think will have great weeks, and I do think Josh Jacobs is one of them. I do believe that Mr. Cook will have a good week also. Jamar Gibbs will have a good week. As far as your wide receivers are concerned, people need to start talking about some of Detroit's wide receivers, and they all talk about Philadelphia's. But, man, the Chargers got some good wide receivers too. So there's a whole lot of good. And as far as kickers and defense, there's not a dominant defense in the whole dadgum NFL. When it comes to fantasy, they're up
No.
back everywhere. You just can't find one. And as far as these kickers are concerned, I thought just take the best, the team that scores the most points, they'll have the most opportunities to kick field goals. But some of these field goal kickers get 18 points one week and 3 the next. So
It is plus 4,800, 5 to pay 246.
I said 5,000. It was 4,800. What am I? 200 off?
Yeah, but who's
That's
who's counting?
4,800 to 5,000, pretty close. So anyway, if you wanted me to do some math, I could have done some math for you.
Well, it's officially locked in. So
Locked in $5.
I'm $250 richer.
$250 richer right there.
Yep,
That's a winner,
guaranteed.
winner. And
Well, like I said the other a couple weeks ago, it's just money sitting on the ground. All I'm doing is picking it up.
Well, you didn't play the money line.
No.
So if you'd played the money lines, the very first pick she gave you would have been the loss. That's the Oregon game.
Yes.
But I knew when she said it, you liked those big spreads.
Yeah.
And I knew you was going to enjoy that. See, I already know Sir Isaac, the guru. He's locking it in. What's your Thursday night football score right now as we're fixing to kick this thing off? We got the Phee Smee.
It was 14-7. It's still 14-7 with 13 seconds left in the half.
And who's winning?
Patriots are winning, and they have the ball on the 40. So maybe running a play and kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
And Travion Henderson is 12 carries for 39 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's more than 3 carries, yards a carry. The key there is the 2 touchdowns. And you're fixing talking about that at half. It's
Yep.
fixing to go into half. All right. Well, New England's up 14-7 with a field goal opportunity right before half. As we conclude Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac, the guru. Sir Isaac, what do you have for your final thoughts concerning fantasy football or professional football?
Professional football, looking forward to a little bit more great games this week. We've been saying that the games have been kind of weak for a few weeks, but actually got a good little stack of some good ones. Fantasy, trying to keep my undefeated streak going in one of my 64 leagues.
You've been playing with 3.
In my league with you, I'm trying to make the best comeback of all time. That's all I'm trying to do.
He's got a great team, folks. Staying healthy.
If you read my team next to everyone else, I still am lying to myself and telling myself I got a chance. I don't know if the math is even possible for me to make the playoffs at this point, but all I'm going to try to do is win out, see what happens, and if I can manage to sneak my way into the playoffs, you never know. You never know what can happen at that point.
That's true.
Give me a chance, and you never know. So it'd be the greatest comeback in fantasy football history.
It is mathematically possible, but if he loses one more, he might not be wearing a dress in this league playing golf, but he'll be wearing a dress in another league playing golf. Yes, well. Again, Fee's just hanging on by a thread. Everybody hurt for the year. questionable every week. Just went from a phenomenal football team to just limping down the stretch, trying to make the playoffs, hoping that Jonathan Taylor scores 50 a week.
You got a decent chance.
And what happened to my dadgum tight end, Dallas Cowboy Ferguson, scores 0 points and then goes on a bye. Next thing you know, I put in Kyle Pitts Jr. Atlanta's just better than they playing.
They really are. They're
just
weird.
better than they're playing,
They're
man.
weird.
I just say either I can't evaluate talent when I see them, or I just like the uniforms too much.
No, they've got dudes.
They got 'em.
Drake London. Here's a spoiler alert for any team out there who's playing the Falcons. They're throwing the ball to Drake London every single play. Apparently, and he's just going to catch it. So,
As far as wide receivers go, he's the only one that gets any catches.
goodness gracious.
Well, Sir Isaac, I do appreciate you coming down tonight and spending the time with me. We'll see you next Thursday night for Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. Anything else before we sign off?
That's all I got.
All righty, folks. Y'all have a great evening. Return at 9 p.m. for Night with Phee. We'll start the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark Tuesday at 9 a.m. and then come back with a show a week with Manly Mark starting next week. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. Just like Isaac's missing college football because of Disney. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. God bless you guys.